So before I start, I want to start with this quote. A child's voice, however honest and true, is meaningless to those who have forgotten how to listen. Think back to your own childhood. How many times did you feel really hurt? How many times do you hear a kid say, miss, 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 before you stop and listen? How many times do you hear them say that to their parents? And have we as adults forgot to how to, I guess, tune into our children and the little people in front of us when deciding an educational agenda and how we're going to teach them? And I know that as an educator, we've got 20 million things going on at all times, lists and things that we need to do. And that's fair, but does that then take away from the child in front of us? And how do we put the focus back on them? A lot of people that I work with will say, yep, child-led, it's great. That's where we are. We're play-based. And in an early setting, they'll follow that. But then at the same time, there's this juxtaposition where we then have a belief that a child must leave our care, our centre, or a high school with set learning. So to be able to leave school, you must know these 5 things. And then if we're viewing that, are we viewing children as the experts, or are we viewing the teacher as the expert? A lot of people will say that, I guess, we're child-led down here, and at some point it changes. In that you don't want, say, a non-history teacher teaching a history subject in a high school, because the teacher should be the expert. And when we start to listen and work in this space of child voice, we start to really question that notion and what is our role? Because if our role as the educator isn't as the expert to impart our wisdom, what is our role within that space? And how do we honour, I guess, our expertise as well as the child's expertise? Consider it too within your setting. If we come back to what you wrote about your setting, who do you think the expert is? Who has the power within that space that you have created? Is there a shared power dynamic? Is it a power dynamic where you hold all the power? Or do the children hold all the power? And when do those scales tip? And when should they tip? And I'm not going to give you the answers because it's very, I guess, individual question to you, your setting, and the children in front of you. But I want you to keep coming back to these questions and questioning your assumptions about learning and belief and about children. What is your child's role in the room? Is it to show up and to have wisdom imparted on them, for show up and for you to teach them something? Or is it to direct their own learning? What is your role? Okay, and I mentioned that already, and I'm going to keep mentioning it. Is your role to impart knowledge and wisdom, or is your role to guide and work with?